Hi everyone, it is currently the 23rd of July 2017. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with your tropical update out here in the Western Pacific. And before I get into it, I often say if you want to gain tropical weather forecasting skills, not only on very strong and intense storm systems, which we do often see out here, but also complex dynamic scenarios using the Fujiwara effects, blocking highs, all sorts of different impacts on tropical systems, look no further than this basin. Today we have three named storm systems out there. Now, only one of them do I feel is actually going to become anything strong, but still a lot happening. First and foremost, I do want to note that Tropical Storm Roke, actually, that name was also a storm several years ago that hit Japan, caused some of the worst flooding you've seen out here in about a decade in some locations around the Key Peninsula. But Roke, this time a weak tropical storm coming on shore near Hong Kong. It already has made landfall as of making this update. Of course, Hong Kong has been seeing scattered showers throughout the morning here on your Sunday, and I expect that to persist as this does come on shore throughout the rest of the weekend. The good news is that Roke will continue to weaken out as it moves further inland. I think the biggest issue, and it often is with these storms that come in off the South China Sea, we seen it last week with Talus, was the fact that they do like to enhance the southwest monsoon as they come up over towards Vietnam and also around the Laos area. Now the southwest monsoon is back here towards the west, really impacting those of you in the Myanmar, even over towards India. But once you get these lows coming in, it kind of increases that flow of moisture. And last week with Talus, when this moved overhead, even after it weakened over Vietnam, it still caused very serious flooding into Yunnan province, even extending towards eastern areas of India. So that's actually my biggest worry with the leftovers of Roke as we look ahead. So definitely want to continue to keep a close eye on this now tropical storm, will soon be a tropical depression as we head through the work week. Now, how about these other named storm systems out here in the Western Pacific? Well, we have Noru, which is located just towards the southeast of Tokyo, east of the Ogasawara Islands. I know this looks like some little rotation there. That's actually just a pressure area, more or less an upper level low, and actually causing some wind shear along the western side of Noru at this time, but not really too worried about that one. It's Noru that I want to continue to watch, and also Tulap just towards the northeast of that. With these two storm systems, at this time, they're almost the same intensity. They're about to engage in a nice little dance we like to call the Fujiwara effect. It's when you get two storms, you get that geometric center in the middle of them, so basically you have the two lows and kind of that high right in the middle of it, and it starts to rotate around that, especially if there's no significant steering flow like an upper level trough coming through to move these along. And if we take a look at the GFS outlook here, and that's exactly what we start to see. Our storm actually starts to retrograde. That is Noru moving down towards the southeast, while Tulap moves towards the west. Now, one thing I do want to note at this time, Noru is the more organized, it is the better looking storm of these two. It's a little bit stronger. Often when you get the Fujiwara effect, they do rotate around each other, kind of a dumbbell effect, but the bigger one, more often than not, sucks up the energy from the little one. Basically, kind of a big star sucking down the little one nearby, and that's exactly what we start to see here based on this model outlook, and all the other models kind of agree with that. But at the same time, we still have a couple lows towards the east. We also have this one developing near the Philippines. I'll get on that in a second. And we still kind of have this continuing to do that whole rotational thing with the blocking high over Japan, keeping it further towards the south. I think Noru is going to be a challenging and fun storm to forecast over the coming day. And I know I've been kind of slacking on making these videos, but I really do look forward to tracking this storm. One reason is out in open waters right now, but if it goes anywhere that could impact land, it would likely be the east coast of Japan if everything lined up perfectly for that to happen. It wouldn't be until the end of the week into next week if it did. More or less, though, you're probably going to get an upper level trough to come through eventually and kick this off towards the north. But for now, it is stuck there east of the Ogasawara Islands out in the open ocean. Sea surface temperatures are above average at this time, and that means more fuel to the fire for this one to develop, and maybe by the end of the week could be a pretty intense storm system out there on Wednesday and the Thursday, just towards the southeast of Tokyo. I want to keep a close eye on this. I have pretty big plans out here in Tokyo this coming weekend. If this does venture closer to the city, that could be putting a big impact on it. Yeah, they're definitely very keenly interested in how Noru does develop, because at this time, it does look like the intensity is pretty certain it's going to become a decent-sized typhoon, but based on that Fujiwara impact, it's going to be a hard one to follow. And then lastly, embedded in the intertropical convergence zone here, basically this westerly flow, all blown up thanks to the, looks like a wave from the MGO overhead. We have another invest area that probably is going to be developing here. GFS, ECMWF, NavGem, all these models do predict this one to develop just towards the east of the Philippines. At the very least, it is bringing plenty of rainfall out across this area as it does track off towards the north. There could be some flooding, especially at this time around Visayas and southern Luzon. Within that whole hot mess of a tropical wave, we do expect a low to develop as we go ahead in the Monday, Tuesday, eventually over towards Wednesday and track towards the north. GFS actually really wants to develop this down to about 940 HPA before coming on shore around Ishigaki over towards Taipei as we head into the weekend as a pretty strong typhoon. So it's definitely going to be, at the very least, a big rainmaker for the Philippines, because anytime we get a low over here, that also enhances the monsoon, much like I was talking about with Roke over towards Vietnam. A lot going on out here today. That is a quick rundown of the tropics. I would like to talk more, and I think I might make more videos tonight and also heading into Monday on these storm systems, because I would like to dive into each one of them specifically, because they all do deserve their own video specifically. Maybe not Tulap. Tulap, yeah, that one I'm not really too excited about. It's a tropical storm way out in the middle of the ocean. But Noru and our new invest off the Philippines and Roke all definitely deserve close watching. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe out there.